Hello lovely people, it's Cara here and I am so mad. I hope you are well and getting some sewing done wherever you are in the world. Well, another week has flashed by. In fact, I think it might be nearly 2 weeks since I last saw you. I don't know what happened last weekend, but I didn't film anything. It's an outrage, I know. What was I thinking? Anyway, I'm back with you this week and today is a Friday SEWS, which, as you know, was created by the wonderful Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. So thank you very much for Jen for that. And just as a reminder, lots of YouTubers are available to watch on the Friday SEWS just by popping hashtag Friday SEWS into the search bar on YouTube. And the concept of a Friday SEWS is, what did you get up to this week? What have you been sewing? What are you thinking about? And this week, well, I have to tell you, there has been in my world an obscene amount of sewing going on, and I can't share that with you just yet. In fact, I was going to share it with you this Sunday, but the schedule has been put back, so that's going to be coming to you, I think, on about the 8th of September. So stay tuned for that, because it is already entitled Sewn This Week Bumper Edition. So that's coming to you in a few weeks' time. And some of the people that watch this know what I'm talking about, but I have sewn a lot this week and I'm very proud of it and I really enjoyed it. But on a personal basis, I have also been doing some sewing. I know, I don't know how I did it. I have the loveliest husband in the world, is actually the main answer to that. He is extraordinary, he loves cooking, really happily looks after me and enables me to sew. So thank you very much, mwah, Mr. Jeffrey, you are lovely. I don't think I've shown you this jumpsuit before. I've alluded to it a few times, I think. And this is, of course, the Avenir Jumpsuit by Friday Pattern Company. And I'm so chuffed because this fabric, as well as the next make I'm going to show you, both came from my lovely therapist, who's a dental professional. She bought me some fabrics when she was in India earlier in the year, and this has been sitting in my stash waiting for the right project. Absolutely adore the colour, and it's such a beautiful finish on it. Look at that. Never seen a fabric like that in this country, and the Avenir is such a simple construction. I made the size medium. I will pop some photos of me probably strutting around my garden somewhere. And apologies if I have shared this before. I think I've shared a photo but not been wearing it. But this is just perfect, and both of the weights of fabric of this, it's not viscose, it's not cotton, somewhere in between, but it's sort of quite structured, and that works really well for the Avenir. And actually, in case you're looking thinking, oh, my sleeves are longer on my own Avenir, that is because I've copied Rachel from the French Seams, thank you Rachel, and she actually shortens the sleeves on her Avenir. I made it slightly longer, so maybe even in the photos the sleeves might be a bit longer, but I've subsequently shortened them. Not quite cap sleeve, not quite the sleeve length they were, so I'm really pleased with that. That's fantastic. It's got pockets in it, it's lovely, and you know, I do love a jumpsuit where you haven't got to have a belt. So you're going to take a belt off and all that malarkey in order to have an actual break. So that was the first thing I wanted to share with you today. You know, I'm in that sort of transitional thinking. I'm about to go on holiday, which is super exciting. So I go away to be in the Vendée with my beautiful daughter and wonderful husband for a week. And very excitingly, Molly's actually got the time off to spend with us because she is actually working, but has managed to get a week's holiday. So, oh, I'm so excited. I haven't seen Molly for about 6 months really, or maybe slightly less, but it's a long time. So can't wait to spend some time with her. You know that I've done a lot of sewing, so I don't need to rush into making anything for the holiday. No, I don't. No, actually I don't. And that's not me telling you, that's me telling me. Because honestly, my brain is just going, whoa, but you could make a saltwater slip dress, or you could make another Pomona pair of trousers and a Paula top. You could do a quick Esty set. I'm like, yeah, Cara, I could do all of these things, but I don't need them, so stop it. Oh, honestly, I'm a nightmare because I am a very fast sewer. So all of those things could just happen and not really take very much time at all. So what have I been sewing this week? Well, in no particular order. In fact, it's easier for me to show you the last make I made, which was actually made last night. So last night and the night before. So the night before I was actually making something for Maison Fauve, which I can't share with you yet, but will be coming to you in a few weeks' time. So that's very lovely. But I can share with you that I used a remnant of the fabric to make, hang on, let me just do the zip up, to make another, oh, it's a bit creased, sorry about that, to make another of the Grenadine even, third time lucky Cara, Grenadine skirts by Maison Fauve. I just love this skirt. I have not been a skirt wearer. I love skirts in winter with boots and tights, which I think this is going to be really transitional for. But I have recently discovered that I absolutely love wearing this short skirt. Now, I've shared a number of pictures of me in the denim one. I haven't actually taken any pictures of me in this one yet. If I get round to it this afternoon before I edit this, I'll pop some pictures in here. If not, you'll see me pictures of me in the previous one, which is the denim one. But oh my goodness, this is a free pattern. I still don't understand how that is possible really, because it's so nice. Actually, just to mix things up a bit, I put the pattern pieces the other way around. So I think on my other skirt it goes that way, but on this one, obviously it's going this way. And that's just a very simple gold binding I bought from Amazon. This is their beautiful gabardine cotton, available on the Maison Fauve website. So I was kindly given the fabric to make some of their new products, which I can talk about in a few weeks' time. But if you've never made a skirt before, I know lots of people would go towards the sew over it. There's a very basic Ava skirt, I think it is. And there are a number of free patterns available for short skirts. But this one is a free pattern. There is actually a competition running right now on the Maison Fauve Instagram site where you make a skirt. I think you put hashtag Grenadier skirt competition, tag Maison Fauve in it. So that's how they can see it on Instagram. And this, you can win all of the patterns from their new collection, which is very well worthwhile having. That wasn't very good English, but you know what I'm saying. And this is, so it's a free pattern. You get a full sew along with it, and it's just brilliant because you get this beautiful zip. Yeah, the bottom of this isn't perfect, but you get this beautiful zip insertion in the back. So it's a standard zip, not a invisible zip. And it's I know I said this before, but the construction of it, the construction of it is so brilliant. It's so neat and tidy. Just ta-da! For a free pattern, I think it's amazing. So I will pop this on in a minute. So I actually just made this last night. Genuinely haven't even worn it yet. Sorry, all the rustling. But I just love it. And so this is definitely coming to France with me, along with the other denim version. And as I was saying before, so my head is still make stuff for holiday, but actually sensibly, we are approaching September next week. What happened? How did that happen? How are we nearly in September? And next week I'll take you through my September plans, so I won't dwell on that too much. But yeah, just please head over to the Maison Fauve. It is actually, the pattern itself is embedded into their quarterly, I think it's about quarterly, sort of online magazine. It's completely free, but it is a downloadable pattern from that article. As I say, it's got a full sew along on it, but it's so clever because this, how you do the zip here, because when you make the waistband, ordinarily on a waistband, you'll start the waistband a little bit further away from the edge of the skirt, maybe a centimetre to allow for a seam allowance, or sometimes actually you do it to the edge of the skirt. So if you do that on here, your notches don't line up and you think, oh, what did I do? Did I cut it too short? Did I cut it too long? Whatever. And you'd be like, the sides don't match up, etc., etc. The genius of it is that you then actually, I can't really explain it to you, but there's notches in the right places. And when you align this notch on the back, this notch then creates this wonderful, they call it a pleat on the video and in the instructions. And therefore that's what creates just enough excess, it's not excess, but overlap of fabric to create that wonderful zip at the back. It's just brilliant. And it's the second one I've made, and I watched the sew along again, and I still thought I'd done the waistband wrong. And I'm like, Cara, just trust the process. That is the genius of Maison Fauve. Just trust the process. Right, I'm going to get changed quickly now because I want to show you the next make, and I think it's nicer to see it on. So I'll be back in a second. Do you know what? I absolutely love it when you make something and then you just want to wear it all the time. And that is what I can say about this. And this is the Rose Jumpsuit from Jolie Lab. Now, Jolie Lab is also a French pattern company. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, just happen to really love their products. And I remember speaking to you maybe a week or so ago about the Jolie Lab subscription. At one stage this year, the Jolie Lab this was on the Jolie Lab subscription. So this would have been the free pattern. The Jolie Lab is, I think it's £4.90 a month, and you get a free pattern for that. But you also get access to the archive of the previous patterns in the club. And therefore I was able to buy this pattern for 50% off, which is what I did, this must be about 6 weeks ago or so. And again, this fabric came from India. Again, it was provided to me by my lovely therapist. Let me just come in. I think I've showed you this once before. And again, it's got this beautiful sort of waffle texture to it. And it's just, look at these pockets. And whilst I'm standing, let me talk to you about this. Again, I absolutely love the fact that I haven't got to have a belt here. Love this blouse effect that you get here. It's got lovely big pockets. And I haven't actually taken any photographs of me on this in this yet, but I will include some here. So I'll very glamorously go and take some pictures in my garden in a minute. It's very windy, so you'll see that in the footage. And look, it's a really simple construction. It's a bias bound edge, which I did create the bias binding from the pattern piece, from the fabric itself, although you could easily do a shop bought on that. It's a grown on sleeve. It's actually got a cuff detail at the end, which is really nice. And it's also got the option to put a tab on, which I didn't do that. Now, the only thing I was really cross with myself about is if I put the stock photo in here, this jumpsuit does come with a really, really nice belt. I think probably had about 2.5 meters of this fabric. I think I had enough to cut out the belt. But in the mix of things, when I went to make it, I hadn't cut out enough fabric or enough of the belt pieces. So I was actually going to use a sort of a plain black fabric, because obviously you cut out two in order to have put them right sides together and turn them through, and that's how you get your nice belt. But actually then when I put it on and realised I don't really need to have a belt, I thought, I will just leave it. But in the stock photo here, there's actually two options of belts. You have ones that, and I think that's what I was going to go for. So I needed 4 pieces of fabric. That would have been what did it. And I somehow seem to have cut out this option to have ones that you would cinch into the side and tie in the front here, or a big belt that you do with a buckle and pull across. And as you know, I don't like to have a loose belt, because you've got to take it off, you've got to put it somewhere whilst you're having going to the wee or whatever, and all that sort of malarkey. And it's just a hassle. But for some reason I didn't cut out the right pattern pieces. I then thought, it's all right, I've got a really nice brown belt that will go really well with this. But because it is quite blousy over the top, or it is on the one that I've made, I decided, no, you're not, I'm going to leave it. Now, the only word of caution really is that the crossover is very decent, so you can see it actually comes across here, but this is open here, and on my version it is quite loose. So the wind has caught me a couple of times. I don't actually need it in order to have coverage. I actually quite like where this sits. In the instructions it does say to put a popper. You decide the height that you want it to sit, so you could sort of separate it a bit more if you wanted it a bit lower, or you could go like that and have it much higher. I haven't put the popper on yet. I've actually worn this 3 or 4 times, and other than giving myself a flash, don't think I've actually flashed anyone else, but eventually I will get round to putting a popper in and do that up. But it's lovely. You can see in the footage here the length of it. It's actually 3/4 length. It's definitely not a full length jumpsuit, although it would be really easy to do that. And I just love it. I love the colour. And I've actually had lots of people ask me about my jumpsuit, which is very, very kind. I do really like it when people ask me about my clothes, and I'm not shy to say, oh, thank you very much, I made it. I'm much better at saying that than I was in the past. So that's my makes for the week. Well, 2 makes for the week and one let's show it to you. And as I say, next week I'm going to be talking you through my plans for September. I then have got what I've been working on this week coming up, and after that potentially will be the release of the Maison Fauve items, which I've been busy making and have been teasing you with for several weeks. But in the mix of that, I've got some other things that are happening. So I'm at work next week, which is the bank holiday, bank holiday week. I'm at work. I then go and see Molly in France. I then am having surgery at the beginning of September. As you may remember, I had a biopsy taken because I do genuinely have a lump in my throat, and it's been have surgery, not have surgery, because they actually elected for me to have another biopsy as the first biopsy was inconclusive, and have had the second biopsy come back as completely clear. Then I might not have needed to have surgery now and could be decategorised. But it's very common for lumps to be on the thyroid, and it's actually very common to not be able to define whether they are benign or malignant. I'm not saying that correctly, but you know what I mean. So I'm not worried, it's absolutely fine. They're essentially taking the lump out to test it and make sure that everything is as it should be. So that's why I will be pre-recording some footage for you, all of those things that I've just mentioned, some of which are already filmed. They will be coming out to you over the coming weeks. But whilst I am in France, I hope to do a update, do a bit of footage on a daily basis or something like that, and share with you just how beautiful the area in France is that my daughter is. So that will be a video that will come out in several weeks' time. So hope that sounds exciting to you. If you're new around here, I'd love it if you click the subscribe button. Actually, if you are watching and you're not subscribed, please could you click the subscribe button? I am inching closer to quite a significant milestone, and I would really, really love to get to that figure somewhere by the end of October potentially, or maybe even more. Perhaps you are the person that can make a difference to that for me. But I also love to hear where you are, so let me know where you're watching from in the world and what you're sewing, what are your plans, and of course what you think of what I've been up to. But until then, everybody, stay safe and well and have a lovely weekend. Take care. Bye bye.